You don't need a six-figure salary to start winning with money. In fact, some of the most financially free people in the world began with less than you have right now. It's not about how much you earn. It's about what you do with what you have. And in 2025, if you're not budgeting, you're bleeding cash silently. Every swipe, every subscription, every food delivery, it all adds up fast. And before you realize it, you're broke, stressed, and stuck in a cycle that's robbing your future. But here's the truth no one talks about. You can take control of your money with whatever amount you have, even if it's just a few dollars a day. And in this video, I'm giving you 10 easy, smart, no-fluff budgeting tips for 2025 that actually work when you have very little to start with. Whether you're a student, someone stuck in paycheck-to-paycheck stress, or just starting your financial comeback, this guide is your first weapon to break out of survival mode and start building real financial peace. Stay locked in, because tip number 6 alone can save you hundreds this year, and tip number 9 might just change the way you look at money forever. Tip 1. Track every single dollar, even the small ones. Most people think budgeting starts with cutting back, but that's wrong. It starts with clarity. You can't change what you don't measure. So if you're working with limited cash, your first job is to track every single dollar. Not just the big expenses like rent or groceries, but the tiny leaks. The Rs30 coffee, the $2 app subscription, the random Amazon item you forgot about. These small spends, they're silent killers. They vanish your money without warning. In 2025, you have free tools like Good Budget, Spendee, or just Google Sheets. No excuses. Start writing down exactly what comes in and what goes out. The first week might shock you. You'll realize you're spending more than you thought on snacks, streaming, or random purchases. And that awareness alone can feel like a slap, but a necessary one. Because once you track, you take back control. It's like turning the lights on in a dark room. Suddenly, you see where the cash is slipping through your fingers. And once you see it, you can stop it. This one habit changes your relationship with money forever. So don't underestimate this step. Don't skip it because it sounds simple. If you don't track, you'll always guess. And guesses lead to financial messes. Tip 2. Use the zero-based budgeting method. When every dollar counts, you need a system that gives every dollar a job. Enter zero-based budgeting. It's not just some boring finance term. It's a strategy that has helped broke students, single moms, and even millionaires take charge of their money. Here's how it works. You take your total income, whether it's Rs 10,000, on 200ers, or even less, and assign every rupee, every dollar, to a category until you're left with zero. That means you plan your spending before the month even starts. Rent, bills, groceries, savings. Debt payments, even entertainment, get assigned a purpose. Nothing is extra. Nothing floats around without direction. It's like giving every soldier a role before battle. No freeloaders. This method forces intentionality, and that's powerful when you have limited income. It helps prevent impulse spending. It gives you boundaries. And the beauty? You can still have fun, just planned fun. You want Netflix? Budget it. Craving pizza night? Plan it in. Just make sure it's accounted for. Zero-based budgeting doesn't restrict your lifestyle. It upgrades your discipline. In 2025, life is expensive. AI subscriptions, online tools, rising food costs, it all stacks up. But if your budget is zero-based, your spending stays rooted in reality, not emotion. Tip 3. Start with the 50-30-20 rule, but modify it for low income. Now, here's where things get practical. You've probably heard of the 50-30-20 rule. Spend 50% of your income on needs, 30% on wants, and 20% on savings or debt. Sounds great, right? But what if your income is too low to save 20%? Or your needs eat up 80% already? Here's the trick. You adapt the rule to your situation. If you're living on $1,000 a month, try 70-20-10 or even 80-15-5. The key is not perfection, it's progress. The real magic is in starting somewhere. Even if you can only save 5%, build that muscle. That's your foundation. Over time, as your income grows, you shift the percentages. The 50-30-20 rule is a guideline, not a prison. So don't let it intimidate you. Use it as a framework to assess your balance. Are your wants stealing from your needs? Are you skipping savings entirely? This breakdown helps you visualize it. And here's a bonus trick. Automate your percentages. Set up an auto transfer so that even your Rs 500 saving goal happens before you see the money. When you treat savings like a bill, it becomes non-negotiable. Budgeting on a low income doesn't mean you follow rules perfectly. It means you customize them until they work for your reality. Tip 4. Create a bare bones budget for worst-case months. This one is a game changer. A bare bones budget is your emergency blueprint. It's the financial version of a fire escape plan. Because let's face it, in 2025, layoffs, medical bills, inflation, they can hit at any time. And when you're already tight on cash, one surprise expense can drown you. So here's what you do. Sit down and write out your absolute minimum survival budget. What are the non-negotiable expenses you need to survive? Rent, basic groceries, internet, a basic phone plan. Cut out every single want, no dining out, no subscriptions, no extras. This isn't the budget you live on daily. It's the budget you fall back on during hard times. It gives you peace of mind. It helps you sleep at night, knowing that even if your income drops tomorrow, you have a plan. And even better, it shows you how lean you can live if necessary. Many people discover they can survive on far less than they thought. That knowledge creates confidence, and confidence removes panic. In a world that's constantly uncertain, having a bare-bones budget is like carrying an umbrella. You might not need it today, but you'll be glad you have it when the storm comes. Tip 5. Stop using cashless payments. Go back to cash envelopes. This sounds old school, maybe even outdated, but in 2025, when spending has become completely frictionless, going back to cash is actually revolutionary. Why? Because pain creates awareness. When you swipe a card or tap your phone, it doesn't feel like you're spending. But when you hand over physical cash, you feel it. It's tangible. It makes you think twice. So here's the system. Divide your spending categories into envelopes. One for groceries, one for transport, one for dining out, if you can afford it. Put a set amount of cash in each envelope at the start of the week or month. And when it's gone, it's gone. No more spending in that category until the next cycle. It forces discipline. It eliminates overspending. And most importantly, it builds a scarcity mindset that helps you stretch your money. People often report they start spending 20–30% less without even trying, just because they feel the weight of parting with physical money. In a world that pushes buy now, pay later, going back to cash might just be the most rebellious and smartest move you make, especially when every dollar matters. Tip 6. Cut the invisible subscriptions. Audit and eliminate monthly drains. Here's a truth no one wants to admit. Half the people listening to this right now are paying for stuff they haven't used in months. Maybe it's a fitness app you swore you'd start using after New Year's. Maybe it's a streaming platform you forgot you subscribed to. Or a premium plan that quietly auto-renewed without your knowledge. These are the invisible subscriptions, and they're budget vampires. They don't scream. They silently suck money out of your account every single month. And if you're working with little money, this is non-negotiable. You need to audit everything. Go through your bank statements for the last 60 days. Write down every recurring charge. Don't skip the tiny ones. Now ask yourself, do you need each one? Not, do I like it? Or, will I maybe use it someday? But is it worth it right now? If it's not feeding your goals, cut it, ruthlessly. You're not broke because you're bad with money. You're broke because you're bleeding it in 1,000 quiet ways. Plug the leaks. Cancel what doesn't serve you. Pro tip: use free tools like Trim, Rocket Money, or even bank SMS alerts to automatically detect these sneaky subscriptions. Because the less your money is committed to other people's platforms, the more freedom you reclaim. And here's the mindset shift. Saving $500 a month on unused services is the same as earning $500 extra income. It has the same impact on your budget. But no one teaches that in school. Tip 7. Switch to weekly budgeting instead of monthly budgeting. Once a month sounds efficient, but in reality, it's dangerous when you have little money. Because life doesn't happen in 30-day cycles. It happens every week. And if your cash runs out by week 2, then your budget has already failed. So here's the smarter play for 2025. Break your budget into weekly segments. Weekly budgeting gives you tighter control. It makes spending limits feel real and immediate. $1,000 for food this week feels much clearer than $4,000 for the month. You're less likely to overspend. You get more frequent feedback, and it builds rhythm. Every 7 days, you review, adjust, and reset. That's powerful. It keeps you in the game, even if something unexpected hits mid-month. This works especially well if you're paid weekly or bi-weekly. But even if you're paid monthly, divide your cash manually into 4 weeks. Envelope method, app categories, or just separate accounts, whatever suits you. And most importantly, review it weekly too. Make Sunday your money day. Spend 15 minutes checking your spending, adjusting your plan, and reminding yourself of your goals. Budgeting isn't one massive decision. It's a collection of small weekly wins, and weekly budgeting is how you stay in control without feeling overwhelmed. Tip 8. Build a starter emergency fund. Even if it's just $100. Now I get it. When you have limited money, saving feels impossible. But here's a mindset shift that'll change your life. Saving isn't about the amount. It's about building security. Even if you only save $5 or Rs $100 a week, you can create a starter emergency fund. The goal? Your first $100, then $250, eventually $500. It's not your full safety net, it's your initial buffer. Because life is unpredictable. A broken charger, a surprise doctor visit, a friend's wedding gift. Without a buffer, these things derail your budget. With one, you stay calm, flexible, and in control. The trick is consistency. Automate it. Use a separate account or a labeled jar. Hide it from your main balance. Make it hard to touch. And when the urge comes to dip into it for something non-emergency, remind yourself this is your shield, not your backup shopping budget. That first $100 might feel like a drop in the ocean, but it's a powerful psychological victory. It proves to you that you can save, that you do have control. And in the world of personal finance, belief is everything. If you're listening to this thinking, I'll save when I have more money. Pause. That's a lie we've all told ourselves. The truth is, if you don't save when it's hard, you won't save when it's easy. Start now. Start small. Start strong. Tip 9. Use cash-only days to reset your spending habits. In a world of swipes, taps, and instant checkouts, money has become invisible. And when money feels invisible, we treat it like it's infinite. Spoiler, it's not. Enter one of the most underrated hacks for budgeting with little money in 2025, cash-only days. 1 or 2 days a week. Decide that every expense must be paid in cash. No cards, no apps, no buy now, pay later. Just you and paper money. Why? Because cash slows you down. It makes you think. It resets your relationship with spending. And it forces you to ask, do I really need this? Is this worth handing over physical cash for? You'll be shocked at how many purchases suddenly don't feel worth it anymore. That morning latte? Maybe not. That impulsive gadget? Definitely not. Even better, cash-only days increase your financial mindfulness. You start spotting patterns. You become more intentional. And eventually, those mindful moments bleed into the rest of your week, even when you go back to using your card. This isn't about punishment. It's about building friction into a system that's become too easy. When you add friction, you add thought. And when you add thought, you spend smarter. Try it once. Just one day. Walk around with only $20 in your wallet. Watch how you behave. It's eye-opening. Tip 10. Celebrate micro wins to stay motivated. Budgeting on low income can feel like an uphill battle. Progress is slow, sacrifices are many, and it's easy to feel like you're not getting anywhere. That's why celebrating micro wins is non-negotiable. You saved $1,000 this month? That's a win. You canceled 3 unused subscriptions? Win. You stuck to your weekly grocery limit? Huge win. These are not small things. They are signs of financial maturity, discipline, and transformation. So reward yourself, not by blowing money, but by acknowledging growth. Journal your wins. Track milestones on your wall. Share them with someone you trust. Revisit your starting point often to see how far you've come. Psychology matters. When the brain associates budgeting with pain, it resists. But when it associates it with progress and reward, it embraces it. Even writing down, "This week, I followed my budget 100% and giving yourself a treat like a guilt-free home, spa night, or an extra episode of your favorite show creates positive reinforcement." And here's the kicker. Celebrating micro wins builds momentum. That momentum becomes motivation, and that motivation becomes mastery. Remember, no one climbs a mountain in one leap. You take one solid step, then another. So honor every step. That's how you make budgeting sustainable, not just for now, but for life. Now here's the truth. Budgeting isn't just about money. It's about freedom. It's about breaking free from financial stress, escaping the paycheck-to-paycheck trap, and finally gaining control over your future. And if you've made it this far, that means something powerful. You're not like most people. Most people ignore their money problems. You're facing them. And that already puts you ahead of 90% of the world. But don't stop here. This isn't the end of your financial journey. It's just the first step. So here's what to do next. First, choose just one tip from this video and start today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. Second, if you're serious about building real wealth over time, go watch our next video, The Power of Compounding, How to Build Wealth Without Working More. In that video, you'll learn how even small amounts of money, once managed properly, can snowball into life-changing wealth. Because saving is just the start. Growth is the goal. So hit that like button if you got value today. Share this with someone who's always saying, "I'll start budgeting when I earn more." And remember, you don't need more money. You need a better money plan. And now you've got one. Let's go build something powerful. One smart decision at a time.